CMC and private wealth advisor, as she collaborates with you to create clarity, control, and confidence with your money, your way. It's not about the zeros. So what is it all about? Let's find out. Now here's your host and weekly friend, Jennifer Jose.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Rock My Finances. Today is going to be kind of fun. It might not be for you, but it might be for your bestie. It might be for your daughter or your son. It might be for your neighbor. So listen up. Today is about avoiding your finances. And I'm actually going to share how you can take control and why you would want to take control. So avoiding finances looks like ignoring statements, not logging into your bank accounts, not logging into your investment accounts. Just literally putting things off. Do you ever have that stack of papers in the hallway or on your desk or on the floor in the corner? Like you just don't even want to look at it. First of all, I want to tell you, you're not alone. I have several clients that experience this as well. And I always have my clients who are on it and they know what's happening, but they have a best friend or someone in their family that avoids it, right? The ostrich syndrome. I get it. I totally get it. You're not alone. And this is so important to know that you're not alone. You're not doing this because you're lazy. You are not doing this because you're not smart. You're not even doing this because you're bad with money. You're actually doing this because you're looking at your finances. And when you do that, it doesn't feel safe. Bottom line. And today I'm going to show you how that we can change that today and finally take control of our finances and not feel overwhelmed. Most people are thinking that controlling their finances means discipline, managing every dime, budgeting, and getting everything perfectly organized and having maybe even a financial plan. But that's really not where it starts. Yes, of course, I'm a financial advisor. I want you all to have an amazing plan, but plans change, right? So we have to be able to go with our flow, but it doesn't start there. We have to start with why we're avoiding it in the first place. Avoidance isn't the problem. It's only the symptom. So we have to look beneath that. Why are we avoiding? And for a lot of women, avoidance comes from fear. Fear of what you're going to see. Fear of what you're going to feel. You're even going to feel worse than you already do by just avoiding it. And then you don't know what you're going to do next. So let's say we are going to look at it. We're going to face that fear and jump in there. But then now what? Now we're stuck with all this anxiety and all this fear. And underneath that fear can often be shame. Thoughts like, I should have done better. I should have saved. I shouldn't have trusted that person. How did this happen to me? Why me? Why is this always happening to me? You might have actually gone through a divorce or a financial betrayal. You might have some major decisions that you actually regret. The shame makes it really hard to sit down and look at your money. So first of all, take a breath. I know I said the S word, the shame word, I know, but that's where it starts to feel really personal. And then we just start creating patterns that stack on top of that. So shame isn't just like, oh, I think I messed up or I could have done better. It's actually a full body response. Your nervous system reacts to shame as if you are under threat. You are being attacked, literally. It activates everything. Your brain, your reads, I'm not safe. I'm not enough. I'm not perfect. I'm not loved. I don't deserve it. Your body shifts into fight, flight, or freeze, right? So now you have a whole body reaction. You can feel your chest being tight, shallow breathing, not taking a deep breath, racing thoughts. I think we can all relate to that. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Oh my gosh, what do I got to do? Where's my list? What do I need to do now? How can I hide that? You might even be hiding things from your partner, your spouse. You never know. And a lot of us get the urge just to shut down and run away. I'm not even looking at that. I'm shoving it underneath the desk, underneath the file. I'm not even going to look at it. And we're going to run to something else that's going to make us feel better. Maybe overeating, over drinking, overspending, over gossiping, over judging others. Like there's a lot of ways you can get out of looking at yourself, right? So when this gets triggered, your freeze response, shame often doesn't create an action. It actually creates paralyzing yourself, right? Paralysis. Then we delay, avoid, and we don't even want to deal with it. We're just going to say we're going to deal with it later. Our body is literally trying to protect us. So it says, don't look at your finances. Then it's going to create the desire to hide. So we can't help all of this, right? So I want you to know that you're not alone, and we're going to fix this today. Shame's going to say, don't let anyone see this. Ooh, don't tell anyone. Don't share that with anyone. Don't even look at it yourself. That's shame talking. Your body could actually literally shrink in posture. Your shoulders could fold in. You could shrink. You could sloop down. Your chin can go down, look away, disconnect. Like it does so many different things. You're gonna ignore emails, ignore the news, ignore any friends that talk about money, ignore your relationship with anybody that you're in money with. Right? This only increases stress, which increases our hormones. And then that's when our cortisol rises. We get the belly pooch. We want more carbs. We want more sugar. Our body stays in a very low level stress continuously, like that little knot in your stomach. We just get used to living with it. But then we say, why am I always tired? Why do I have brain fog? We blame it on age. We blame it on maybe drinking the night before. We blame it on being overwhelmed, emotional overwhelm. We blame it on someone else. When I talk to that person, they drag me down, or it could even be your spouse, right? It even makes decision-making so much harder. Then all that does is reinforce the loop of the shame. So we go from shame, avoidance, more problems, more shame. So it becomes a cycle, right? It's just not a feeling, but it's a complete cycle and pattern in your life. So how do we get out of shame around money? You might not even have thought you were in shame around money. So what is keeping us stuck? The way out is not pushing harder. It is not forcing yourself to be better. The way out is creating a sense of safety. We want to have our body relax so that it's willing to engage again. Because when your body feels safe, you can actually take action. When it doesn't feel safe, you're going to avoid. I hope that makes sense. So the first step is you're already doing it with me here today on the podcast. You're becoming aware of what's happening and why we're running. So the first one is awareness without judgment. This is just the way our bodies are made. So instead of saying, I can't believe this, I can't believe I did that, we're going to shift that. This is where I'm at right now. And this is one thing that I want to look at. You're not ignoring the situation. You're just taking the shame out of it. You're just saying, okay, I can actually look at this. So here's an exercise for you, okay? Write down the past experiences that you feel that you might be experiencing shame. Embarrassment. If you don't like the word shame, say embarrassment, or I shoulda, woulda, coulda done it better, right? Any of those experiences. So I have one personal one for you, of course. I actually had a manager working for me for 5 years, even bought a condo for her and her family to live in that they rented from me. And they even had daycare with my kids when on some off hours. Trusted her completely. She wanted to purchase my Suburban. Okay, great. I was ready to buy a Denali, so I was selling her my Suburban. I was on the phone one day, very busy. I had all my staff around me. I had the pink slip there because I knew she was coming over to get it. She put it in front of me, and I signed on the wrong side. I did not sign as a lien holder. On the back is supposed to be the lien holder in California anyways. I signed on the front, releasing the pink slip to her. She literally drove straight there to a city about an hour away and sold it for 10 grand. Was I embarrassed? I was so embarrassed. Successful business owner, my staff's all around me, and I find out that I literally signed on the wrong side. So I did have to sue her, took her to small claims, or actually large claims, whatever that was. But it wasn't small claims because it was 10 grand, right? And so took her to court. She had to come back. She actually moved to another state, left no notice out of my condo. So I lost my manager, my renter, and my Suburban all within a week of each other. They skipped town, moved out of state. So I had to sue her at that point. So she had to come back to California. She had to appear in court, saw her in the hallway, all of that. None of that is fun, right? It's all confrontational. And then she filed bankruptcy and wiped out my loan. Of course, the judgment was for me. She owed me money and she just filed bankruptcy. So I got nothing. How embarrassed, so embarrassed. I felt so shameful, shoulda, woulda, coulda, all these things, right? And so it took me a couple months to get over that. Now I was already into daily practices around forgiving myself, but it was hard to do. So the first step is awareness. Here's your exercise. We're going to write down some of these situations that we feel really bad about ourselves and that we should have, could have, would have done better. Here's a little guided release from shame that I'm going to give you. Take a big, slow breath in, breath out. I am here. I am safe. I am safe in this moment. I'm noticing what I'm feeling without judgment. I'm feeling tightening in my chest. That's just a physiological response. Take another breath. I am forgiving myself for what I did not know at the time, for the mistakes that I might not have made, the mistakes that I made, for what I could have seen that I didn't see, for the choices that I've made when I felt afraid and unsupported. I am releasing the past, not for anyone else, but for me. Take a breath in. I am learning. I am allowed to start again. I am capable of handling this right now. And right now, I'm willing to take one small step forward. That is enough for right now. Take another slow, deep breath in, slow, deep breath out. I am moving forward with clarity. I am moving forward with compassion for myself. Take a big, deep breath in. How does that feel? Does that feel good? Feels good, right? Okay, that's our first step. Noticing without judgment. Second step. The second step is to slow our body down. Before we look at our money, before we look at a statement, before we look at an email, we're going to take a breath. Have you ever used box breathing? Google that. It's sitting comfortably in your chairs, soften shoulders. We're going to inhale to the count of 4. We're going to hold that for the count of 4. We're going to exhale to the count of 4, and we're going to hold that for the count of 4. And we're going to do that several times. So do that at your own pace, but I do that anytime I'm feeling any anxiety, fear, stress, anything that comes on. It's amazing. Do that at your own pace. And say, as I breathe, say quietly to yourself, I am safe. I'm safe to look at my statement. I'm safe to look at my email. I'm safe to call my advisor. I feel calm. I'm in control. Let your body settle in. Let your mind slow down. Do another box breath, right? It's so much calming to our nervous system. Third step, start small. We're not going to look at our entire financial life at one moment, right? We're not doing that. We're going to look at one thing. First thing you're going to all do, set a money date in your calendar every week for 30 minutes. That's the first thing. We have to make it a priority. Now, we're going to make it cozy and comfortable. Like I make sure that all my favorite colors are on my spreadsheets. I might have my amazing rock and roll music. I'm a Cher fan. I love it. The rock and roll train, like all that stuff. I'll have good music on. I have my candles lit, good lighting, maybe even in my comfy clothes. I use my purple pen because purple is my favorite color. I want to make this environment for my money date really wonderful, good feeling, low stress, calm. You might even want meditation music on. You might even start with a meditation for the beginning of your money date if you're a little stressed out. We're going to do one thing at a time. So what's the first thing that needs to be done? I want us all to have all of our money written down somewhere. So we want to have a spreadsheet. I do a spreadsheet. You could do QuickBooks. You could do Quicken. There's a couple different apps out there. However, I'm just good old, Google Doc, Google Sheet, or an Excel sheet. I just put all my accounts down, everything that's being paid, the website for it, the ID to log in, the encrypted password, when is it due? How much is due? If it's a credit card, what's the interest rate? What's the balance due if you have balances? What's the monthly rate? Any notes that you might want to say with that? I know a lot of us have 0% credit cards. I did a lot when I purchased my house last year, like my Lowe's and my floors, my refrigerators, all that had 0% financing for 6 months, 8 months, 15 months, whatever it was. So I put all that in I call it my wealth report, my wealth sheet. That's my JJ's wealth sheet. So I have all of that I can pull up at any time. And it's my favorite colors, right? And then I love to check stuff off. So what I do on my sheet is I highlight it when I've done it, and I update it every month, or it's up to you. You want to do weekly, you want to do monthly to get started, but that's part of my money date, right? I look at my wealth sheet and I love it. At the bottom of my wealth sheet, I have all my income coming in. We got to keep track of the income, right? You might have a job, you might have a business. So you might have commissions from different companies. It could be child support, Social Security, retirement pensions, annuities, your income planning on your annuities, whatever it is. You want that income at the bottom as well, or tab 2, whatever it is. So that's like our first step, kind of compile all that together. And you might want to start small. Just spend 30 minutes one week, 30 minutes the next week. Doesn't have to be anything big, okay? Our next step is we want to make sure that we change the words that we're using. So instead of saying, I messed up, a better truth is, I did the best I could for what I knew at that time. So we're going to change our languaging around. So yes, you need a money journal, and we need to write these things down. When we hear ourselves saying something negative, we want to write that down and switch it to a positive. And we literally need to physically say the positive statement out loud. So it's telling both sides of our brain, this is now our new belief. This is now our new statement. This is what we want to step into saying. So instead of I messed up, or I was embarrassed, or I'm so embarrassed, or I shoulda, woulda, coulda, right? We want to make sure that we state all those statements and make them into a positive statement. The more you do this and the more you practice this, I promise you, it's going to change your abundance. It's going to change your mindset. You might even lose weight. You might even start eating healthy, drinking less, spending less. You might be having more joy. Like it's wonderful when we start doing these little things. So we're going to mine our words, right? We're going to check that out when shame arises. Then our fifth step is support. I actually call this second step, actually, after judgment, after I realize what's happening without judgment, I call in support. But we have it here as the fifth support, whatever feels good for you. But when we go it alone, it's very scary. Everything's in our head. It gets heavier. The moment that you talk to someone else that feels safe, whether it's a professional, such as me, your money coach, your financial advisor, or even just hearing someone explain it clearly, it loses its power. So when I have clients come to me, or pre-clients, as they say, when they're checking me out, which I have everyone check out 3 different advisors when you're ready to switch advisors. Or if you have an amazing advisor, you love them, you want a money coach, that same thing as well. We're going to start with telling someone the truth, telling them how you feel. That takes the power out of that fear. It takes the power out of that shame and that anxiety. Because the goal here is not perfection. The goal is just to feel safe enough to look at things. We want to be safe enough to decide some things. We want to be safe enough to move forward to the next best step, not the entire thing, just what happens next. That shame starts to release when we start doing all of these steps. The avoidance fades. Like there might even be a time that you can't wait to look at your money. And then you begin to take control. Oh, that feels so good to take control. I know you got some control freaks out there listening to me, because I know I am as well. Without forcing the control or feeling overwhelmed, or our cortisol running our life, or our 5-year-old little wounded girl running our money world, right? We can actually take control, and it feels so good. So what did we learn today? It's not your fault. It's absolutely not your fault when you are trying to avoid your money. It is literally a fear response in your body. We don't have to go to 10 years of therapy to find out what it is. We're just going to look at a few past experiences. We're going to write those experiences down, and we're going to recreate the statements around those experiences. Instead of, I was so stupid for selling my Suburban to that gal without signing on the right side, how dumb was I? I'm changing that to, oh my gosh, I was busy. I didn't know what I didn't know. I was moving too fast, and I signed on the wrong side, period. Then I stepped into my badassery and sued her because she needed to take financial responsibility as well. So I did close that loop on that, and I did forgive myself. I had never sold my car like that to someone, so I didn't know to sign as a lien holder on the back. Totally blew that, right? Now I know, and now I'm imparting wisdom to you, which is why we want support. We want to be able to share this with people. So we're going to realize it's not our fault, realize that we're activating a physiological feeling in our body that is trying to keep us safe. So you're not only fighting against your memories and the shame that we feel, but our body is telling us to not, don't look at that statement, don't look at that bank account. Say no to everything that your friends ask you to do because you can't afford it. Like, there's so many times that we look at what we really have and it's way better than we thought. But understand that our body is fighting against it. So we do need to take a look at it. We want to stop that pattern. We want to do the meditations, forgive ourselves, do the box breathing. We want to take one step at a time, our money date, just one little step at a time, maybe one account at a time. Then we want to change our words around the shame. And then we want to get support around this. I hope this has been useful for y'all. Stick around. I have another episode as well around anxiety, financial anxiety. I want you all to be able to walk away from these podcasts feeling better, less shame, more abundance, more joy and love for yourself, because that's what it's about, right? We got to love ourselves first before we can truly love our money. I want you to be able to walk away and say, I rock my finances.
We appreciate you joining us today, and don't forget to subscribe to the Rock My Finances YouTube channel for more engagement and bonus content. Tell me, what is your money story? Let's find out with Jennifer right here on K4HD Radio and Talk4 TV. It's not about the zero, it's about the F word, feelings. Feelings Jennifer can't wait to explore with you next week. Until then, let's all say, I rock my finances.